Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a third year PPE student, but focusing on philosophy. So, a bit about the philosophy department. In terms of its location, it's very central in Durham. If you haven't been to Durham before, it's like a 3 to 5 minute walk away from the cathedral and the castle, um, and it's like a minute's walk away from where your lectures are going to be, which is really convenient. That might seem quite standard, quite intuitive, but you'd be surprised. The economics department is like a 20-minute walk away from where my economics lectures were. So, yeah, that's a big plus of the philosophy department. In terms of how the course is structured, I'm sure there'll be lots of information about this online, but I'll just go through it anyway. You'll take 6 modules and each year generally, and each module will generally have one lecture weekly and one seminar fortnightly. And the seminars are something I really, really enjoy. They're basically just run as big discussions. So most of them will have, on average, like 6 to 8 people in them, um, and you'll basically be discussing what you've been going through in lectures, and it can be really fun to hear other people's views on what you've been learning, and some of them can be very creative, and the arguments can often get quite heated, which can get quite fun. But no, they're really rewarding in terms of developing critical thinking skills and so on. In terms of the modules you can actually take, there's such a wide variety. I'm sure whatever you're interested in, there will be a module for it. There's modules in ethics. There's modules in epistemology, so like the theory of knowledge. Um, there's even modules in aesthetics, so working with definitions of art and is beauty subjective and things like that. Um, I think there's even a philosophy module on psychiatry. So yeah, lots to choose from. Um, some essay titles that I've done recently might be able to give you a flavour of kind of the questions that we ask. So what one I did last year, which I really enjoyed, was can we harm someone by bringing them into existence? So that got me thinking of different accounts of harm, um, whether whether we can harm future generations, and if we can, like what kind of obligations do we have, moral obligations do we have to future generations. Um, One I've just finished writing recently is morally bad art. So if a film is very beautiful but its message is very immoral, does the fact it's immoral actually bear on its artistic value, or is it a separate kind of realm, I suppose? Um, Another one I've just finished writing is can someone be morally responsible for X if they couldn't have done otherwise than X? Um, Really interesting question, and yeah, gets you thinking about lots of things, gets you questioning a lot of your intuitions, um, and in terms of how the essays actually kind of work. You have a lot of freedom in terms of how you can approach the questions. So it's not like in A level. Actually, I should talk about whether you need A level or not. You do not. You, I know lots of people who haven't studied A level philosophy and do absolutely fine. In fact, they do it very well. I know lots of amazing philosophers who get very good marks who didn't study philosophy before. So they treat it in first year as though no one studied it, and it's a level playing ground. So if you have studied it, happy days. If you haven't, don't worry about it at all. But yeah, in terms of how they're structured, they're very different to how A level philosophy essays are structured. So they would tend to be like 3 points for, 3 points against, and the points tended to be unrelated, and you had to use points that are in the syllabus and so on. It's not like that here. In the essays, you have a lot of kind of freedom to put your own point of view in, as long as you back it up, appropriately. Um, and the essays work more like a dialogue, so they're more fluid. It would be, you know, like 1 point and then 1 point against that specific point, and then the point against that specific point, and there's a lot more kind of creative freedom for how you can approach a question than was the case in philosophy A level, and that's really rewarded here by the staff, and the staff are really, really, really good. I can't say a bad word about them. They're so helpful, always willing to kind of you know um, help you with whatever questions you might have. They all have designated office hours each week where you can just drop in and have individual one-on-one conversations with them, which can be so rewarding with some of the best researchers in their respective areas. It's yeah amazing that they're that uh, happy to help you and happy to give you advice. And if you can't reach the office hours, then you can just send them an email and they'll be happy to arrange a meeting with you at any point, just to talk through any issues you might have or talk through essay structures and stuff. And so, yeah, the the staff are unbelievably helpful. Um, in terms of a bit about Durham in general, uh, it is if you haven't been, it's a beautiful city. If you have been, I'm sure you'd agree with me. It is one of the nicest places in the world. I'm sure that you could go to university. Two World Heritage sites in like such a lovely kind of medieval city. There aren't many better places in the world to study. It's got lots of independent cafes. Got lots of pubs. In fact, there's a pub near the philosophy department, which might be quite convenient for you guys. Uh, but yeah, I can't say a bad word about the actual city. Everything is so close together, and which really kind of feeds into the community atmosphere of the student life in general. There's kind of a real sense of community and everyone getting like everyone knowing each other basically, which is it's a really cool plus, and I think that's a plus with the collegiate system as well. I think the collegiate system has a big say in doing that. So, yeah, studying philosophy in Durham has been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, very sad for it to be ending.